Hey y'all. So I'm Artemis Walden, and this is Goddess Juice. I am here to talk about the process of moving from the false sense of certainty to that sense of open possibility when you live in uncertainty and allow uncertainty to be the baseline of everything that you are creating in your life. This is a process that I have danced a lot with myself in my life, both because, well, I have ADHD, and for so long it felt like all I could do was search for a level of certainty and stability, because that's what certainty always meant to me. That's what everybody was always pushing. You need to find stability. You need to find certainty. You need to know what you're certain about. You need to know what is solid for you. Because when everything is so constantly moving, there is nothing that feels like that. And it's interesting how this progression of things is just part of the process of growing up. I mean, I feel like when you're a kid, you feel so certain about so many things and yet uncertain. And you think that when you're older and you're an adult, that's what adulting is. You're going to be certain about stuff. You're going to be certain how you keep your house. You're going to be certain how you do your hair. You're going to be certain what your job is. You're going to be certain why you're here. You're going to be certain who the people are who are important to you are. And the thing is, that's bullshit. And it's interesting because so many times there is this need to create that certainty. And, I get it. When I am floundering and lost, and I've been in those states of chronic depression in my past, there's been this process of needing something to cling to make it seem real, to make it seem important enough, to make it seem like everything that's going on matters. That there's a way out of this, that there's a way to the other side, that it is certain that you will get to the other side. But that comes from a place of lack. That comes from a place of needing something outside of yourself. That comes from not knowing your heart. It comes from not being in touch with your body. It comes from being stuck in your head. And sometimes that is the hardest part once you've been on this journey of self-discovery and self-advancement for so long, and self-development, as you get to this point where you have all of these I am statements. And that's great. I am is what creates your universe in some way. What you decide on, what you hold in absolute devotion within your heart and within your energy, is what is manifest. But what happens when what you're reaching for is beyond the precipice of anything that you could even contemplate or imagine fully? What happens when, in knowing that the universe has your back, when in knowing that the universe will always provide, you're actually limiting yourself? You're actually limiting the possibilities of what can happen, what can be in your life. There is this sense that at a certain point, we are standing in our own way, and we are holding ourselves back from crossing the threshold, from doing what is needed to make progress forward happen. And we tell ourselves all of these reasons. I'm blocked. I mean, I've heard that out of my mouth more times than I want to even talk about. But look at that statement. I am blocked. It is creating certainty of something that doesn't allow the possibility of what is just beyond that edge to come through. It holds that resistant barrier. It keeps what you're searching for, what is being reached for, what is being wanted on the outside of the bubble of your reality. So what is the answer? The answer is to allow certainty, to fall away, and to step into allowing the comfort, to be in knowing that the uncertainty is where the growth happens. It's one of the skills that is coming to the forefront of research around adaptability, resilience, fulfillment, satisfaction, connection, true intimacy, is the skill of being able to be comfortable with discomfort. The skill of embracing that the uncertainty of the moment, that when you don't know how it's going to go, that's when all the possibilities open up. When you hold that frequency, when you hold that resonance, when you hold that awareness of intention, that is when the whole everything that is seemingly unavailable to you right now suddenly comes into view, suddenly comes into something that can be magnetized immediately to you. And that is when possibilities erupt. That is when change occurs. That is when the brilliance of growth is allowed to happen. And that is what we're all reaching for. Because if anything, our experiences of the past few years have taught us that it is our beliefs. It is our beliefs about what we think is possible that dictates what we run into. I mean, just think back to the middle of the pandemic when we were all stuck in our houses and nothing seemed certain at the same time as there was nothing new. And then at a certain point, it was like we got fed up with it. We got tired of being stuck. We got tired of believing our own bullshit. And that is when we started seeing shifts and changes. And that happened at different times for each of us, depending on how inwardly you allowed yourself to go, depending on how much you delved and sat with that uncomfortability that erupted from that experience. How much you allowed yourself to be cracked open by what you were going through instead of held back by what was the circumstances and the conditions of the experience that you were in. What did you focus on? What was the meaning that you gave it? We are at a time of restructuring. We are at a time of rewiring both our language patterns, our systems, our internal brain patterns, the ways that we weave ourselves together, the ways that we move through our lives. It's changing. And we want it to, and we've needed it to. But we had to reach that breaking point to reach that breakthrough. You have to break things down. You cannot rebuild on rubble. You have to clear away. And that is the most uncomfortable part. Because as you are breaking things down and you're sending that wrecking ball through everything, and you are letting things rip apart at the seams, you are letting your life crumble into ruin. You are racked with grief and the fear of uncertainty. It grips you. But that is also the catharsis point. That is the point where everything can build back up. That is the point that honestly, in a negative way, I've gotten addicted to, because I've started over so many times, and I always reassured myself that in that breakdown, in that baseline, I could build again. The question is not if you can be there. The question is whether or not you can keep going. The question is whether or not you can decide that it's okay that you don't know the things that you don't know. The question is whether or not you can move into the awareness of what is in your body and what feels good in the moment. Because only in the moment is where you have the possibility to reach beyond. By being fully where you are, by being fully in your body, by stepping out of the mechanics of the brain, of the mind, of the cycling, of the need for certainty in your mind in a logical fashion. And that is where you move into your body and you feel what is actually true. Not in an absolute truth way, but in an absolute truth for you way. It does not matter how many different perspectives there are on truth. What matters in your life is the way that you interpret it, and the way that you create meaning, and the way that you allow yourself to progress forward, no matter what doesn't feel right when you think about it over and over again. How do you get the thoughts about needing to be certain to clear out of the way? Breath work, tapping, self-massage, self-hypnosis. Ways that get you out of your own way and into the rhythmic experience of how you are moving and being within your life and within your body within your life. Because from there, that is where you can cultivate the thoughts that are actually a true reflection of what you're experiencing within yourself. And only then do you have the clarity of that baseline that isn't a manufacturing of a synthesis of what everyone else and everything else around you is expecting it to be. That's when it becomes a chance for possibility. That is where frequency and feeling take root and begin to build momentum. That is when what you never imagined possible before in your mind begins to be felt as a reality in your body. And from there, you take each moment to each moment to each moment. And all you have to do from there is allow. Allow yourself to be in your body and take that step forward. Allow yourself to not care if your mind is uncertain, because your body knows it feels good, because your body feels the pleasure of the possibility pulling you forward, urging you to persist, urging you to trust, to have faith in how good it feels in this moment to simply be present and be alive and moving forward and forward and forward, one step after another, always going back in and checking with the feelings in your body. Checking with the feelings in your body. What does your heart say? As you contemplate your next move, what does your heart say? What does your gut say? What does the fire in your belly say? Because that is where the opportunity sits. That is where the juice of life, the ambrosic deliciousness that flows, can be harnessed and moved with. So please take this time to breathe, and let's breathe together for a few minutes. And then at the end, after we've breathed together, please take some time, if you would, to let me know what you're feeling in your body and whether or not that allows you to feel more certain within your being certain of how you feel. And it makes it feel less like it matters whether or not there's chatter in your head or not. So take a deep breath in, settle in your chair, and breathe in to your belly and breathe out. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out and push it. Breathe in and out. Two more times. Last one. And allow yourself to just be with how this feeling of oxygenating your body feels. Sit with it. Feel what it stirs. Feel what it releases. Feel the feelings and notice how the feelings trickle into thoughts. Reach out and let me know. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. Until next time. Bye-bye.